God is good, He has done me well.
It was supposed to be a peaceful Saturday morning. Oluchi had just finished sweeping the compound and was about to prepare breakfast when she noticed the empty bag of pure water in the corner. She wiped the sweat from her forehead, turned to her husband and said, "Dear, please, I need 300 naira to buy pure water." Her husband Uche was sitting on the couch with his friends, all dressed in shorts and holding bottles of drinks. They had been laughing loudly, talking about football and politics. But the moment Oluchi spoke, Uche's smile disappeared. He looked at her as if she had just told him to buy her a private jet. Every day, morning, he snapped. His friends went quiet. "You think money grows on trees? You don't contribute anything in this house, yet you spend the most. You are always sitting in the house, eating and sleeping like a queen." Oluchi froze. The broom fell from her hand. She thought maybe she didn't hear him well, but then he continued with his voice rising. "You are useless to me, Oluchi. Completely useless. I am the only one providing here while you sit at home doing nothing." The word useless hit her like a slap. In front of his friends and in her own house. One of the men coughed awkwardly and looked away. The other stared at the wall. Oluchi's throat went dry. She tried to say something, but no words came out. Uche, as if the first insult wasn't enough, brought out a 500 naira note, flung it at her and said, "Take. That's the pure water money. Maybe it will give you energy to be useful for once." The note floated in the air before landing near her foot. She bent down slowly, picked it up and turned away before anyone could see the tears forming in her eyes. The house fell silent except for the sound of her slippers as she walked into the kitchen. Inside, she leaned against the wall. Useless? Is that really who I have become? What have I even done to deserve all these insults? These and many more were the questions she asked herself. For years, she had given her life to that home. 5 children, 4 noisy boys and 1 toddler girl who still slept on her chest every night. She cooked, washed, bathed, did their homeworks, prayed and loved until her body ached. Yet, all of it counted for nothing because it didn't bring in money. That night, when everyone had eaten and gone to bed, she lay on her side of the bed staring into the darkness. Her husband snored peacefully beside her as if he had done nothing wrong. She thought about every time she had defended him when people called him proud. She thought about how she had given up her teaching job after their second child because he said, "Stay home and take care of the kids. I will provide everything." Now, he was calling her useless. Tears rolled down her cheeks silently, but beneath the pain, something began to shift inside her. She whispered to herself, "If being home makes me useless, maybe I need to go out and be useful." And right there in the still of that night, Oluchi made a quiet decision. A decision that would turn her husband's world upside down within 48 hours. The next morning, before the first cock crew, Oluchi was already awake. The house was still dark. Her husband was snoring with his mouth open and one of his legs stretched across the bed like a conquering warrior. For the first time, she didn't feel like sweeping. She didn't even feel like cooking and she didn't feel like serving anyone. She stood up, went to the children's room and looked at each of them one after another. Clinton, the eldest, was sleeping with one leg on his brother's stomach. Kene had rolled all over the pillow again. Justin was hugging his teddy like it owed him money and little Chimampa had kicked off his blankets completely. Baby Amanda slept peacefully beside them, her small chest rising and falling gently. Oluchi just whispered, "My babies, I love you, but mommy needs to breathe today." When she got to the sitting room, she paused. On the table were her husband's dirty cups from last night, his shoes scattered everywhere and the remote lying inside the plate of peanuts. She took a deep breath, exhaled and said, "Not my problem today." Then she picked up her small handbag, looked around one last time and opened the door gently. As she walked out, a neighbor watering flowers greeted her. "Madam Oluchi, early morning market?" Oluchi smiled and said, Yes, oh, market of usefulness. The woman laughed, not knowing how deep those words were. By the time the sun began to rise, Oluchi was already at her friend Choma's house. Choma opened the door surprised. Ollie, this one you came this early. Hope all is well, oh. I just came to rest more before I lose my mind, Oluchi replied. Choma's eyes widened. Come in, please. Who annoyed you this time? Oluchi dropped her bag, collapsed on the couch, and let out a long sigh, the kind that comes from deep inside a tired soul. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Oluchi said quietly, my husband called me useless yesterday in front of his friends. Choma's mouth opened. What? Useless? That man is mad. Sorry. Ah, the same you that takes care of 5 children like a soldier on duty? Oluchi laughed weakly. He said I don't support him financially. I'm my friend. For that, he is right. Maybe I should also go and make money. Choma sat beside her. And what will he do with the children if you go? She asked. Oluchi smiled and said, he will manage. After all, I am useless. Chioma served her fried rice and turkey with a cold pack of oleander yogurt. Oluchi took the first spoon and closed her eyes. The piece tasted better than the food. She ate slowly, carefully like someone who didn't want to wake up from a dream. Then, for the first time in years, she laid on the couch, turned off her phone and slept deeply, sweetly and without interruption. Even heaven must have smiled watching her rest. When she woke up, the sun was already high in the sky. For a moment, she forgot where she was. No child was crying. No one was shouting, Mommy, I want to pee. And no, Mommy. Clinton hit my hand with other unnecessary complaints that came with a touch of headache. She stretched her arms and yawned loudly. It felt like her bones had been on vacation. You are awake? Chioma said from the kitchen, smiling. You have been sleeping since morning. I didn't want to wake you up. Oluchi blinked. Money? Wait though, what time is it? Almost 2 o'clock, Chioma laughed. You slept for like 6 hours straight. You even snored small. Oluchi's eyes widened. Me snore? God forbid. They both burst out laughing. Chioma brought another plate of food. Oluchi took the plate smiling. You don't know what you have done for me today. This is like Christmas in October. She finished her food, wiped her mouth neatly and said, you know, I can't even remember the last time I ate without standing up 10 times just to attend to people. Chioma nodded knowingly. That's what motherhood does. They both laughed again, but deep down something changed in Oluchi. She realized she had been carrying the world on her shoulders. Cooking, cleaning, teaching the children, bathing and feeding them. Yet her husband still called her useless. That evening, Chioma's 2 children came back from school and Oluchi helped them remove their uniforms and warm their food. She did it so naturally that Chioma stood watching her in admiration. You are really good with children, Oluchi, she said. You handle them with so much patience. Oluchi smiled faintly. After 5 of my own, my body is trained. Chioma said thoughtfully. You know, my nanny traveled for 2 days. If you can help me take care of them till she comes back, I will pay you 25,000 naira. You will also rest small. No stress. Oluchi's eyes widened. You will pay me? Yes now. You'll be my super nanny for 2 days. Oluchi laughed till she almost choked on her drink. So I can earn money too? This one is sweet though. That night, she slept like a baby. No midnight cries, no snoring husband, and no alarm clock to wake her from morning chores. By the next morning, she had turned into a new woman. She woke up early, not because someone shouted her name, but because her body was finally rested. Chioma's children, 2 lively girls named Zara and Mimi, ran to hug her the moment they saw her. Auntie Oluchi, Good morning, ma, they chorused. Oluchi laughed. Good morning, my angels. Have you brushed your teeth? They both looked at each other and shook their heads. Then, no breakfast for you yet, she said with mock seriousness. Go and brush before I tickle your destiny. The girl screamed and ran off laughing. Chioma stood by the door smiling. You see why I need you. They already love you. Oluchi winked. Leave them for me. I am a mother of 5 and one big baby at home. By 10 a.m., she had already cleaned the house, bathed the children, cooked and even folded laundry. Everything sparkled. Choma looked around amazed. Are you sure you are not using jazz? Because even my nanny doesn't work like this. Oluchi laughed. No jazz, just experience and tears of motherhood. They both burst into laughter. Later that afternoon, when the guests went to take their nap, Chioma handed Oluchi an envelope. Here, your payment of 25,000 naira advance for 2 days. Oluchi opened it and gasped. You mean this is for me? Yes, now, you earned it. I told you are my super nanny. Oluchi stared at the notes in her hand. She couldn't remember the last time she had that much money that was hers. Her eyes watered a little. She blinked quickly and smiled. Thank you, Chioma. You don't know what this means to me. Chioma touched her shoulder gently and said, You deserve it, my friend. You are not useless. You are just underappreciated. And that's the truth. No cap. Later that evening, Oluchi cooked dinner, helped the girls with homework as they had time to rest and watch TV, something she hadn't done in years. By the time the first call crew on Sunday morning, Oluchi's house had turned into a mini battlefield. Her husband Uche, who always woke up by 8 a.m. on weekends, jumped up from the bed at the sound of the baby crying. At first, he ignored it, thinking Oluchi would handle it, but then he remembered. Oluchi isn't here. He sat up confused. This baby again, he muttered, rubbing his eyes. Amanda's cries grew louder, shaking the whole house. He rushed to the crib, trying to lift her, but his hands were stiff. The moment he carried her, she screamed louder. Shh! Don't cry now, he whispered, rocking her awkwardly. Instead of sleeping, Amanda grabbed the shirt collar and drooled on him. Within 10 minutes, 3 other children had joined the chaos. Kenny was shouting, Daddy, Clinton pour water on my shoes. Clinton shouted back, It's not me. Justin pushed me, and Chimampam, the youngest boy, was crying because he couldn't find his favorite sauce. Uche's head started spinning. He looked around the messy room and almost fainted. This house looks like a war zone, he whispered to himself. He marched into the kitchen to make pap for Amanda, something he had never done in his life. He poured too much water. The pap became thin like a swimming pool. He tried again and burnt the second one. In anger, he shouted, Who even invented this thing called pap? The baby screamed louder. Neighbors began to get worried. Mama Clinton know the house, one woman asked another. I hear say she go her friend place, so the other replied. Now Oga they do housework now. They both giggled as they saw Uche pacing up and down, carrying a crying baby like a confused apprentice. By 9 a.m., he was already sweating. He tried to fry egg and burnt it black. He tried to toast bread but forgot it inside the toaster to smoke filled the kitchen. The children coughed and shouted, Daddy, fire! He round around with a towel, fanning the air, shouting. When he finally managed to serve breakfast, Clinton looked at the plate and frowned. Daddy, this one doesn't look yummy. Uche glared at him. Eat it or stay hungry. The boys exchanged glances and pushed the plates away. By noon, the house was in total confusion. The living room looked like a playground. Toys were everywhere. Cereal spilled on the floor. Baby powder poured on the couch, and the TV remote was missing. So, with Uche's sanity, he picked up his phone and called Oluchi. She didn't answer. He called again, still nothing. Finally, she picked up, her voice calm and relaxed. Hello, my dear. Oluchi, where have you been? These children will kill me, you. Clinton has wet the bed. Kene broke the glass and the baby has been crying for more than 1 hour. How do you even do this? Oluchi just replied, relax, my dear. Remember you were the one doing everything and I am the useless one. Please, Oluchi, just tell me what to do, he begged. Okay, she said sweetly. Feed Amanda with cereal and warm water. Clinton likes his indomie with egg. Justin likes it dry. Kenne wants it with plenty water. Remember to remind them to pee at midnight or you will wash bedsheets tomorrow. Also, their uniforms need ironing. Thank you. Uche blinked rapidly. What? Wait. All this to be done by one person? Yes, she said cheerfully. It's not much. You said I don't do anything, remember? So it is not much at all. Then she ended the call. Uche stood there with his mouth open and his phone still pressed to his ear. For the first time in his life, he felt the true meaning of the word useless. Meanwhile, Oluchi was at a spa with her friend getting pedicure, smiling softly at her phone. She transferred 15,000 naira to her husband using a POS and sent a short message. For foodstuffs, so that you will say I don't support financially, with love from your useless wife. When Uche saw the alert, he just sat on the floor staring into space and then he whispered, the mighty man had fallen. By Monday morning, he officially surrendered. The man who once bragged that a woman's work is easy now looked like a houseboy on training. His eyes were red from lack of sleep. His face was rough and the smell of baby powder mixed with sweat followed him everywhere he went. When the first child woke up and shouted, Daddy, I am hungry, Uche almost cried. He muttered, this early? He rushed to the kitchen, determined to do better today. He poured cereal into a bowl, added water instead of milk, and then sprinkled salt instead of sugar. When the children tasted it, their faces changed. Daddy, Clinton shouted, why is my tongue burning? Uche tasted it himself and screamed, Jesus, salt! He quickly poured everything away and tried again, but this time he forgot to add sugar completely. The children pushed the bowls aside. Justin folded his arms and said, Daddy, when is mommy coming back? Uche pointed at him weakly. Eat that thing, my friend, before I design your face. Also, no, when is my mommy coming back? Meanwhile, the house was in a bigger mess than ever. Clothes piled up like mountains. The baby's bottle was missing. Kenny had painted his school shoes with his mother's pink nail polish and Chimampam had used crayon to draw on the wall. When Uche tried to wash the baby's clothes, he poured too much detergent and created a bubble festival in the bathroom. The whole floor became slippery. He fell twice and shouted, Oluchi, what have I done to you to deserve the silent punishment without mercy? By afternoon, he tried to cook indomie. The noodles burnt to ashes. While all this were happening, Oluchi was enjoying her peace. Within how many days? She looked fresh with bright eyes and her face glowing with freedom. Her phone buzzed. It was Uche again. She rolled her eyes but picked up. His voice was tired and shaky. Oluchi, please, when are you coming back? Oluchi took a deep breath and said, I am still working, dear. After all, you said I don't contribute, so let me keep contributing. He tried to sound firm, but ended up sounding weak. Please, these children have finished me. I can't even find myself again. As I'm speaking to you, I'm looking for Kenneth's school shoes. He wore sandals to school today. Oluchi said, check their room, the second shelf by the left side. He gasped. How do you know that? Only a useless woman will, she replied. There was silence on the line. Then he sighed deeply. I am sorry, Oluchi. I didn't know it was this hard. She simply replied, my darling husband, please rest. You still have laundry to do, and for your own good, don't forget to feed Amanda before 6 p.m. so that you will rest tonight. Then she ended the call. She looked at her phone and burst into laughter. That man is sure learning the hard way. He said I am useless. Now he knows I was the glue holding the house together. Uche on his part began to understand that the value of a woman is not in how much she earned, but in how much peace she brought into a home. By the next day, he had lost all strength. His eyes were red, his voice was cracked, and his body moved like someone who had fought a lion and lost. He sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the chaos around him. The toys were on the floor, unwashed plates were in the sink, and the baby was crying in her sleep. He buried his face in his arms and sighed. God, please help me. This woman is stronger than 10 men. At exactly 9:45 p.m., he picked up his phone and dialed Oluchi's number again. It rang once, twice, and then she answered, her voice calm and peaceful, the total opposite of his word. Hello, my darling husband. He didn't even wait. Oluchi, please, I beg you, come home. She paused. Home? But you said I am useless. What will a useless person come and do now? Uche swallowed hard. I was wrong. I didn't know and I didn't understand. He exhaled shakingly. These children, they have finished me. I must confess, I am losing my mind. So, are you saying that being a housewife is not sleeping all day? Oluchi asked. He chuckled weakly. No, ma. Please, my wife, I am sorry. She said nothing for a while. The silence stretched and only the faint sound of Amanda's cry echoed from his side. Then Oluchi spoke gently. Uche, when you told me I was useless, I believed you for a second. But now I see the truth. I am not useless, neither was I useless. I was just unseen. Her voice trembled slightly, but she held her calm. I gave my time, my strength, my health, my emotions, and my love every single day, but you didn't see it because it didn't come in cash. Uche's throat tightened. I see it now, he whispered. I swear I do. Please forgive me. I can't do this without you. Oluchi could hear the desperation in his voice, and though her heart softened, she also knew this was a lesson life had to teach him properly. I will come home soon, she said slowly, but not because you are begging. I will come because I want peace back in our home, and this time you will help me keep it. Yes. Oh yes, Uche said quickly, nodding though she couldn't see him. I will do anything. I will help. I will change and I will never use that word again. Good, Oluchi said. Now go and check the baby. She's crying because she's hungry. He looked down at Amanda and gasped. You even know from there? Oluchi laughed. Yes. A good mother always knows. When the next morning came, she woke up feeling calm. As she looked at her friend's children getting ready for school, she felt something tug gently inside her chest. She missed her own children, even their noise. She smiled and said quietly, It is time. Chioma walked in holding a cup of tea. You are going home, right? Oluchi nodded. Yes, I have taught him the lesson I needed to. Chioma grinned. You are really brave, my friend. They laughed, hugged tightly, and Oluchi set out. When she reached her compound, she stood at the gate for a few seconds, taking a deep breath. The moment she opened the door, she froze. The house looked like it had survived a hurricane. Clothes were hanging on chairs, plates piled high in the sink. Two of the boys were arguing over who finished the milk. Amanda was crying in her walker, and there, in the middle of it all, was Uche standing in the same shirt he had worn yesterday, holding a mop like a defeated soldier. When he saw her, he dropped the mop instantly and rushed to her. Oluchi, he said with his eyes wide. You came back? She smiled faintly. I told you I would. For a second, he just stood there staring at her like she was a miracle. Then his eyes filled with tears. He knelt down right there on the messy floor. Oluchi, I am so sorry. I was proud and foolish. I didn't say your words until this house fell apart without you. Tears slipped down her cheeks, but she smiled. She held him up gently and said, You see now? Money alone cannot build a home. Love, patience, and respect do. He nodded quickly. You are right. From today, I will help you. I will never call you useless again. Good, she said, because if you try it again, I will disappear till only the heavens fall before I show up again. They both burst out laughing. The children ran to her shouting, Mommy, and hugged her tightly. That evening, the family sat together for dinner. This time, Uche served the food. He even washed the plates after. When Amanda started crying later that night, he stood up first. Oluchi smiled from the bed and whispered, Now, this is progress. Uche winked. You rest, my darling wife. I've got this. She laid back and watched him try to soothe the baby, singing lullabies off key. She laughed, feeling love return to their home. 2 weeks after peace had returned to their home, something new began to grow inside Oluchi. No pride, no anger, but quiet determination. She had tasted independence, even if it came in small food of 25,000 naira, and she liked how it felt. It wasn't about the money anymore, it was about dignity. One afternoon, while Amanda slept and the boys were at school, Chioma called. Madam Super Nanny, she teased. You still enjoying your husband's new humility? Oluchi laughed. Ah, my dear, he now washes plates before I even finish eating. Peace has entered my house, so. They both laughed, but Chioma's voice turned serious. Oluchi, there is a lady in my office looking for an assistant. It is flexible and pays very well. You will even get to close early enough to pick Amanda from the crèche. Oluchi sat up immediately. Are you serious? Very serious, Choma replied. You have handled 5 children alone for years. If you can do that, then office work will be like playing tente. Oluchi's heart fluttered with excitement. She hadn't worked in years, not because she couldn't, but because she thought she wasn't allowed to dream anymore. Now she could see her worth differently. That night, she told Uche about the offer. At first, he hesitated, then he smiled sadly and said, If that's what you want, I will support you. You have supported me for years without rest. It is your turn. Her eyes softened. Thank you, Uche. I just need to do something for myself. The next week, with Choma's help, Oluchi started her new job. It was a small but well-paid administrative role at a local firm. She put baby Amanda in a clean crèche near her office, and the first day she dropped her there, she stood by the gates. She smiled and said, This is a new chapter. From then on, everything changed. Her mornings became organized. She woke up early, prepared breakfast, packed the kids' lunch boxes, dressed Amanda for crèche, and still made it to work in time. She began to earn her own money again, and naturally, Uche, her husband, began to respect her. He became her partner, sharing chores, helping with homework, and even cooking sometimes. Their home, once filled with tension and loud arguments, became peaceful. The children noticed it too. They laughed more, quarreled less, and even started helping with chores. And together, they learned that a home without understanding is like a car without fuel. It won't move, no matter how beautiful it looks. So, my dear Karma tribe, let me ask, have you ever been made to feel useless by a partner, a family member, or even the society just because you don't earn money? How were you able to manage that season of your life? Kindly share your experience in the comment section. Tell me what you have learned from Oluchi's story and also comment where you are watching from. Please give the story a thumbs up, share out to your loved ones, and punch out that subscribe button if you have not already done so to join the Karma tribe. Until I bring the next interesting story your way, it's a goodbye from here, and God bless you.